Welcome. This is We Are Famous. I'm Son.
I'm your man, CL.
What's going on, man?
What's happening, big homie?
Look, we are in season 2 now.
Yes, sir.
We want to thank all the subscribers and all the viewers who actually watched season 1. Thank you. Appreciate the support. And if you're new to We Are Famous, go ahead and hit the like and the bell button so you can be notified when we have new episodes.
Yes, sir.
But look, let's get into it, man.
Let's get it.
A lot of things has been going on in the good old US of A.
Yeah.
And one thing I found out, we still,
A nigga.
So if you haven't been paying attention, we've been having a couple of incidents that's going on. And, man, normally, we going to have fun with it also, but normally, man, I wanted this show to be about fun, happy things, sports here and there, just, enjoying life. But sometimes we got to address these type of things.
Yes.
And this is for the youth, so y'all can understand. Y'all still going through what we went through. And if I could get away with it, but YouTube probably wouldn't let me. Jay-Z got a song that's that title, Still.
A nigga.
You know what I'm saying? And if you don't, you never heard it, go check it out.
Yeah.
But look, man, a couple of things happened. Let's start off with the Applebee's thing. So somebody had committed a hit and run, and they ran and hid inside of an Applebee's. Well, police was, gave pursuit. They went in Applebee's. A waiter pointed out a couple that had already been there, had ordered their food with their baby, and the police just ran and started trying to detain the guy and arrested him and the female, saying that they was resisting arrest while the real perpetrators were hiding in the restaurant. Police didn't find that out until they, assaulted these people pretty much. And, again, they were there having their meal, minding their own business.
Right.
A white waiter said, hey, them the people you're looking for.
Right.
And that just goes to show you we are still
A nigga.
in America. You know what I'm saying?
Baby! I'm not doing shit! Let me the fuck go! Let me the fuck go! Let me the fuck go! I'm not doing shit!
Stop it! Stop it!
Put the baby down now!
Stop it! Hey, please get the baby. Please get the baby. Back up. Back up. We're trying.
Back up, come on, man.
Get off the baby.
Squeezing him. Nah, bitch, you squeezing me.
Stop.
Fuck
We're
you
not
talking about?
squeezing you.
Let me the fuck go, yes you is.
Hey, please stop.
Get the fuck
Hey,
out.
be careful. Your baby head. Your baby head. Be careful.
Let him go.
Sir, your baby head. Please stop.
Get the fuck off of me. Somebody grab the baby. Get the fuck off of me. Somebody grab the baby. Get his feet. Let him go.
They had at least 4 cops on his back with at least a cop or 2 each grabbing an arm, and still had 1 cop punching him over and over again in his face.
Harris says Applebee's fired her after videos like this got out. But she says she's happy people can see what happened.
So I just really hope that he gets some justice.
In Kenosha, Madeline O'Neill, Fox 6 News.
Madeline, thank you. The Kenosha Police Department says their review process is more robust than what the state requires, and they did start their investigation into this right away.
So, what you think about that incident that happened in Kenosha?
Well, Kenosha done already had their share of problems. They ain't been in the news before. So I don't really put nothing past Kenosha or Kenosha police or even the city of Kenosha. So those of you who don't know anything about Kenosha, just type Kenosha in, and you're going to see all the incidents with police and shootings that's going to pop up. But with that being said, with this particular incident with this black man, with a kid in his hand, what kind of threat could he have been sitting? Who going to run off in somewhere and sit down and pose like they ain't the person who actually done what they actually done? I don't know nobody who going to do that.
Nah, me neither. And the sad part about it is these particular police, they have no value for human life, because you roughing this man up when he had a child in his hands. You didn't care nothing about the baby. What if you'd have injured the baby?
At all.
So again, we still
A nigga.
But this what really tripped me out about that incident. They still got charged for resisting arrest when the police was wrong.
Yeah, and you going to go to jail, get charged with resisting arrest, got to pay for a bond to get out of jail just so they could dismiss it. But it costs you money, time, effort, and also the trauma that it caused for not just you, but the people who was with you. I don't know how old the little kid was, if they're going to even be able to remember what happened, but the incident itself is not just with the embarrassment of what happened, the trauma it can cause, not just for that particular people who it happened to, and all they going to get is dismissed. They ain't gonna get none of their money back. No real apology from them or nothing. No kind of compensation for being inconvenienced at all from what these police have done by stereotyping on these young black men.
And the employee lied. It's apparent the employee lied. So if I know people be like, well, they just need to sue. Well, it's easier said than done. You know, you might win that case, you might not.
It's a process.
But you know, they need to sue Applebee's also because the employee was wrong.
But all they're gonna do is fire the employee. They're gonna fire the employee just to get the heat up off of them. You know what I'm saying? So we get rid of this employee, that's gonna take away our lawsuit, but it's still not gonna take away the lawsuit that they can charge the police with. And something simple as they call a misdemeanor, they gonna sweep that on the rug. And those people, the only person who on a losing situation of this is the family and the victims who are involved in that particular case.
Yeah, well, it's sad that you know that happened, but then let's keep it going.
Yes, sir.
Because we're still
A nigga.
So a teenager was detained while taking out the garbage. You know, the police in, I think it was Detroit, they thought he was a suspect from a previous crime, and so they detained a child. He was taking out garbage. His father came out and asked the police very calmly, "Hey man, what are y'all doing? My son, this is what he was doing." They basically just didn't want to hear what he had to say.
Right.
You could tell the kid was upset, you know what I'm saying? And they detained him, put him in the back of the car. And they figured out they was wrong. Instead of the officers that stopped him and detained him to come talk to the father, they sent the female officers to go defuse the situation.
Growing outrage after police in Lansing, Michigan detained a 12-year-old boy while he was taking out the trash.
A kid bringing out his trash to be dumped.
Tayshawn Bernard's father says he asked his son to take the trash to their apartment complex's dumpster. Well, when he didn't return after a few minutes, he went outside to find his son handcuffed and being placed in the back of a police cruiser. The boy released moments later, but lawyers for the family say he's still distraught.
He's been so traumatized that he does not want to go outside. He doesn't want to take the trash out. He doesn't even want to check the mail.
The Lansing Police Department posted an explanation on Facebook stating an officer was pursuing a suspect in a string of Kia thefts wearing neon shorts and a white shirt. A different officer was in the area and saw Bernard wearing a very similar outfit and put cuffs on him.
Our client wasn't wearing a white shirt. In fact, our client was wearing a light gray colored shirt.
The department also issuing an apology saying, "Our hope is we can put this unfortunate case of wrong place, wrong time behind us and continue to represent the community that we serve."
He wasn't in the wrong place, nor was this the wrong time. He was in the right place, his home.
Now, the father wasn't out of control. He wasn't belligerent. He just what was going on. But he could have been. You know, his child didn't do nothing. And see, our kids are traumatized, man. That's what these people don't understand. Go ahead.
So once again, I'm opposed as a teenage child emptying the trash as if I live in those apartments to try to throw y'all off and pass me up. So I'm going to pretend that I live there and go empty the trash just so y'all can pass me up and say, "Oh, I'm going to let him make it. He look like he live here." Come on, man.
We still
a nigga.
So the father say that his kid was psychologically traumatized, you know, which I can agree. I mean, he just took out the garbage, so he probably scared to just go outside now.
Yeah.
And see what people need to understand is that if the daddy would have went crazy, it could have turned out worse than what it was.
Yeah.
You know, from a mistake. You know, how many times are we gonna get, you know, roughed up, detained because of a mistake?
And he could have been easily killed because he's a nice sized man. And whenever they see not just a black man, but a black man of his stature, now we fear for our life. And now y'all end up shooting this innocent man because he out there trying to defend his son, who's clearly traumatized because he's crying.
Yeah.
What thief you know gonna bust out crying unless he already committed the crime? They say we finna give you 20, 30 years. That's the only time you're gonna see a nigga cry. Once he goddamn commit the crime and can't do the time. But this kid is clearly crying. You know he ain't done nothing. Right. And you still put him in a police car and traumatize him even more. Not bring him over with his father and sit there and talk and let's try to figure this out. You're gonna still put him in the back of a police car and say, "Oh yeah, you nigga, you finna get used to this."
Yeah. And tripped out part about it is that you know, we understand cops got to do their job. You know what I'm saying? But what they need to understand, racism do live in America. You know, so I don't know if it's, you know, I have family that was police officers. You know what I'm saying? I might need to ask them, but I don't know if it's in the training Every time you see a black kid with a hoodie on or just a black kid in general, guilty, 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 and then we'll sort it out later. I don't know if that's part of the manual or not, but it seems to appear to be.
Well, I know police got their own procedures or the way they do things and the way they are trained, but it's still common sense got to click in at some point. And I know common sense ain't coming for everybody, but common sense, what you put in this position to protect and serve, but yet and still you are traumatizing not just grown folks. You traumatizing these kids, and next thing you know, the faith that we supposed to have in you guys is no longer there. We don't trust you. So whenever stuff go down, we fear even calling you guys because we don't know what to expect when y'all get there.
Let me put it in their wheel. Let me put it in people's wheelhouse so they can understand, especially from a black man.
Mhm.
Okay, you had the little guy that came and killed 9 people in a church in South Carolina.
Mhm.
They looked for him, armed and dangerous, and when they caught up with him, they gently placed him in a police car and asked him, "Hey, do you want anything to eat?"
Mhm.
And they took him and got him a hamburger before they took him to jail.
Right.
So if I hit and run somebody, they didn't die, I just hit and run, I ran. I mean, why I can't get treated the same way with dignity? This guy killed 9 people in a church, and they was in there praying with the guy, praying for him. He's evil.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Kenosha is the same place that little 17-year-old kid had an automatic weapon at a protest and shot 2 people and killed 2 people. Walked down the middle of the street with the strap down to him, and cops ran past him to go to the people that got shot and walked right past him as if he had done nothing.
You know what? I could take my weapon and I could walk down the street right now
Mhm.
in front of my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And you know how many police will probably show up because I have an AR-15 on my hip?
A whole bunch of them. You know why? Because we are in society look at us as a threat. We are the threat. They don't look at other races as the same threat that they see black. Every time they see black, they got black in their eyes.
Well, let me
and
ask
they
you a
want to
question.
darken our life out every time they see us because that's what we consider as a threat to them.
Let me ask you a question. We
Mhm.
know at least 10, 15 men in company. How many of those
Shit,
men?
way more than that.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
stay at the number.
just in general.
Let's
Go
just
ahead.
stay at 10 so I can do my mathematics quicker. I ain't got to go get a calculator.
Mhm.
We know 10 random people, random guys. You can mix them 10. You can pick the 10 out of the 50 or more we know.
Mhm.
But just pick 10.
Okay.
How many of them out of that 10 are just a menace to society?
0.
You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, some are a little bit more
Rough around the edges
than others.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
But we would have to go into we would damn have to go back to high school and all that there to try to find guys that we grew up around that we feel like that's that much of a threat to society where they should no longer be here or locked up for life. I don't know none of the people that we hung around with that fit that criteria.
Right. And so my point with me bringing that up is, I get it's a stigma against black men. I get it, because that's what the media drives, the narrative that we are just dangerous and, this and that. But it's a lot of more dangerous others than it is black guys.
Right. Well, I only see other races commit the type of crimes when it comes to mass killings. I don't really see the threat that the society have up for us as black people, where we running around just killing masses, killing kids, killing women, children, everything.
Yeah, we don't do none of that.
We don't do none of that.
But
But
let
we
me ask
still
you
the
this.
biggest threat in America when it
No,
comes
we're not.
to.
We're not.
Well, that's where they look at
Yeah,
us.
that's where they report it and look at us. Because let me ask you this: it's a white person kill a white person every day.
Yeah.
10 times more than black on black, even with Chicago. They always say Chicago.
Mhm.
But let me ask you this: when that's reported, do they say, "Hey, it's white on white crime"?
No.
But every time a black person kill another black person,
Mhm.
it's black on black. Like black is a trigger word for the media.
But that's
You know
what they
I'm saying?
want. That's what they want to perpetuate and put that out there as we are the bigger threat. So long as we are the bigger threat, and that's what media put out, that's gonna put police on alert. That's gonna put white folks on alert. That's gonna put everybody on alert that we are the biggest threat in America, and that give them the excuse to continue taking us out.
Well,
with,
you
with-
know
with
what?
no
I
repercussions
don't-
behind them taking us out.
I don't think nothing wrong with me, man. I really thank God, created a perfect specimen.
When it come to you,
Yeah.
well,
You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
gonna let you stick to that.
Hold on, I believe that. You know what I'm saying? Sun don't shine unless the sun shines.
Yeah.
But it is something wrong with me, and I'm gonna tell you what it is, man. I had to come to. I just thought about it. You know, I'm not like this anymore because I guess I'm in a different situation. But coming up as a youngster, man, I mean, I was traumatized by the police, and I'm gonna give you 2 situations that could have went like this, but they didn't. So my brother used to work for HPD. He was a HPD officer.
Okay.
Special operations. I don't, look it up. But he could roam around the city. So one particular time, and this was probably, 90s. You know what I'm saying? My mother's car broke down. So I don't even know how he ended up there. But me and a friend of mine, his friend, went to go help my mom with her car. So we was at a gas station off I-45. It was 2 white officers in a car in the parking lot at the same time. My friend fixing the car, me and my mom, we just sitting there talking. So, she's getting her car worked on over there by where you pump the air. So my brother pulls up in a squad car, full uniform. He at work. He pulls up, he talks. We all laughing, gee, gaga, because that's a family member. That's my brother. He was very informal with me. It wasn't, you could tell I knew this person. So me and my partner, he do whatever he do to my mom's car. She leaves, me and him leave. There's 2 white officers. Remember that I told you they was there. My brother burned off. He gone back to work. Soon as we pull out the gas station, they pull us over. Pull us out the car. Made us lay down and talking about we need to search the car. So I simply asked, man, why are you doing this? You just seen me with my brother. I don't care who you was with. So I said, man, do your job. Go ahead and do your job. So I went through. He gave me a ticket. He said I didn't have on a seatbelt. This was pretty much a new law at the time, so whatever. So I called my brother, and he said, show me the ticket. I gave him the ticket. He put me in the back of the squad car. He don't work there no more, so y'all can't mess with him. Right. But he put me in the back of the squad car, and he went found those officers. He said, you saw that was my brother. So it was something going on with that. It was a racial thing. You know what I'm saying? That was one time I peeped it. Another time I had a white friend that went to high school with us, rolling on Antoine. If you're from Houston, you know by Antoine. So she in the car in the front seat, friend of mine in the back seat. She just a friend. She actually a friend of my sister. And I was taking her home because my sister asked me to. Next thing I know, police following us. He pulls us over, man. He weapon drawn. He come to the car. He say, ma'am, are you okay? Like I kidnapped or something, man. And, I was like, wow. And her response meant everything.
Everything, yeah.
Her response could have been like, no, officer, but that wasn't her response. Her response, what you mean I'm all right, man? She basically was like, why are you stopping us? So he felt egg on his face, and he was like, well, I stopped you because of something. He said the trunk lock was popped out, so I thought the car was stolen. I'm like, oh, man, come on, call your supervisor. Supervisor came out like, but my point is, I did nothing wrong. I was just still
a nigga.
And riding down Antoine with a white girl in the car.
Right.
And so he didn't like that, so he decided he was going to change my life. But go ahead.
But it never seems to amaze me that drugs, fentanyl pills they got out now.
Yeah.
The switches that they put in the neighborhood where you can just squeeze the trigger and let off 100 rounds in less than 5 seconds.
Oh, they keep them in our neighborhood.
They keep them in our neighborhood. I don't know no chemists in my neighborhood, nobody who working too many pharmacists that creating these drugs. I don't know nobody who got whoever got the patent to the switch should be charged with all these crimes that's happening all over America because for one, if it's illegal and it's something that's out there, somebody got to have a patent to it to even put it out there for it to even be sold.
Right.
Where can you buy a switch at? You can buy it online, but somebody still got to have a patent for it.
All these ghost guns.
Somebody still got to have a patent for it, and I know it ain't us.
Right.
So for you to continue to act like that we are such a threat in America, y'all putting the threats and everything out here in America for us to destroy each other. So I think everybody who got the putting the fentanyls and the ghost guns and all of that, they should be charged for these murders, not even more than the people who actually convicting these murders.
I'm gonna trip you out right quick, and I just learned this the other day. I did not know, and I'm gonna give a shout out to my partner. His name is B Love. I'm gonna call him B Love.
Okay, what's up, B Love?
So we talking, had nothing to do about this, but he was like, we was talking about how government works. That's just the type of conversation me and him had.
Okay.
So I was like, hey man, if I went as 10 of my partners, man, look, let's put $1,000 together and go and take that money and go get a lobbyist to try to change some laws around what, what we got going on. Right. None of them would do it. But if I had a brick of cocaine or some kind of illegal quick way to make money, selling coffee, it could be anything, multi-level marketing, I'm going to get some action. You know what I'm saying? But just to do something like on that level. And he said, man, you know what's crazy? And I was like, what? He said in Chinatown, over there on the southwest side, off of, you know what I'm talking about, over there.
It's Horrin area and all over
in that area.
Okay. Yeah, they even got signs up for them now.
But check this out.
Street signs.
Check this out.
Language.
It's only Asian cops working that area because they went to the city and said, we don't want no other race of officers working over here but Asian officers.
And it's the most illegal shit going on in the world over there, but they want people of their kind who understand what they're going through. Where they can.
I mean, you took it there, and it's fine.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna stop you on that. But my point of what I'm trying to say is, if that's the case, why it ain't black officers that understand black kids in the black communities? Why we can't say, hey, we don't want none of the racist cops over here, put the black officers, which could be a good or a bad thing because so there's some black people.
I was just gonna say, because I done seen some of our own. Like my boy Ice Cube say, black police showing out for the white cop. Yeah. I done seen that with my own eyes. So even with our kind in our neighborhood that we grew up with the school with, and everything, and you think supposed to be on your side, and he come and flip flop like a motherfucker.
Well, at the end of the day, man, we still
a nigga.
So if I wish I could just play this man's song throughout the whole show because it's still relevant to today. Because it was relevant when he wrote the song. I don't know even how many years ago. I think it was over 5-6 years ago. But it was way relevant before that, still relevant to this day.
But look how long that Ice Cube song been, way back in the 90s, and it's still relevant. And before that.
Yeah, so times ain't changed. I mean, you can go pull up any one of them records. It's the same stuff going on. I mean, it just didn't make sense what happened at Applebee's. It didn't make sense what happened at for that little kid taking out the garbage. You know what I'm saying? So look, the moral of the story is, man, we still
a nickel.
And until we change and start loving each other like we did in Alabama, you know what I'm saying? It was no backlash. I mean, we got, you know what? Somebody sent me an inbox because I put out a little trailer or something promoting that show saying that Homeboy went too far with the chip. And dude sent me something back. I know the person. He sent me something back saying, I know we didn't. White women used to stand around, watch us get hung. And I was like, he right, but still, man.
Still don't make it right. Two wrongs don't make it right. Yeah. If we trying to evolve, and if we trying to evolve, two wrongs don't make it right. And,
two wrongs don't make it right. So I'm going to stand on that, man. That man went too far with that chip. But and I saw another video where a white guy saying, hey, those white women knew that it was a brawl, and they kept getting in the way. Still, man, I heard you say something. I was raised. I'm just not gonna mollywop a woman.
Right.
I might if I'm in a fight, something she in the way, I might push her out the way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna chill out a little bit, but I just can't just lose it.
Yeah.
With a woman around.
And putting hands, feet, and chairs on a motherfucker and drug. If your life is in danger or your life is a big threat to your life, I could see you doing whatever it takes to get out that moment. But if your life not really, at stake, let them make it.
Yeah. Well, this has been We Are Famous. I'm Simbo.
I'm your man, CL.
And again, man, I want to appreciate everybody that watched season 1. And and if you haven't seen it, man, go check it out. It's some good shows on there, man. I was reviewing some of them, man. I was really actually kind of surprised about some of the topics that we gave our opinion on, and people were really digging it, man. So, man, I appreciate you, CL, man. You made the season 2.
Yeah. And once again, it's only our opinion on things. It don't make it actual fact. Don't mean that we right about everything. It's only our opinion. So don't criticize the judges too hard just on our opinion. It's just at the time. That's how we feel at the time. We all here to evolve. The way we feel today may not be the way we feel tomorrow. But at that time, that's just the way we felt about those situations. And thanks again for tuning in to season 1, and look forward to season 2.
So once again, man, this is Simbo.
I'm your man, CL.
And we all famous.
Acer. No chaser. Yeah.
Bitch, we told him